Unauthorized action means any illegal action that can happen, whether due to that action it compromises your confidentiality, your integrity, or availability of data. So all of these things come in intrusion. Means, for example, a malicious actor sent a phishing email to an employee, tricking them into click a link that downloads a Jordan. So this can be some kind of intrusion attacks that opens a backdoor to the company network. It will allows the attacker to steal the data. So this is intrusion. So we will discuss what is the role of the risk owner in managing the risk. So let's suppose a risk owner is someone in the organization that is accountable for managing a specific risk. Means he's the person, if any problem occurred or something happened, that person will take the responsibility to remove that risk. So it will involve, it will seize the uh, plans, the monitoring risk level, how to ensure that everything is in control, in place to address that risk. Like if it is a financial institute, the chief information security officer will be the person who might be the risk owner for the cybersecurity threats. The Chief Information Security Officer will be responsible for understanding the risk, how it's occurred, what responses they are going to build against that risk, so that they will ensure the security protocols are implemented there. Now, there are different responsibilities of a risk owner. Like they will identify the risk. The first thing after happening the risk is to identify the risk. What is the nature of the risk? Whether it is too severe to take the action, whether it is the risk that occurs at a larger scale or a minimum scale. What are the causes of that risk? Means why that risk happens, and what is the potential impact of that risk. This can be the first step, that you have to identify the risk. The second step is to develop the plan. Means here you have to create the plans, how you are going to control or reduce the likelihood or the impact of that risk. Means you have to create a plan. Now you have identified the risk, then you have to move towards planning. Then the third step is you will monitor the risk. Means you will try to test this risk according to your plan. Means what is the status of that risk, how effective your measures are going to be against that risk. Now you have monitored it. The fourth step will be you will report on that risk. Means if you can't handle that risk, you will go towards your senior management or to other stakeholder. What is the status of that risk? Whether you should develop something new or you should change your plan. So after that, you will take action after taking advice from your senior management. If you decided to change the plan, you will change. Otherwise, you will act upon that plan. Then we have other stakeholders who are involved in that risk management. Means the person or peoples who plays a supportive role in risk management, like the risk manager. It will facilitate the overall risk management process. It will help you to identify the risk. It will provide the tools and the methods that are needed for that risk management. Means they do not own the risk, but they will guide you how you can get rid of that risk. Means they will provide you the guidelines that how you can manage that risk, how you can improve your plan in order to remove that risk. Then, for example, our risk manager in the company will assist you in various departments. It will provide you the risk assessment workshop. They will provide you the templates for documenting that risk, means how it happened, why it happened. They will do all of that. Then, senior management. This is another person who is not owing that risk, but will play a supportive role. Now here they will allot you resources. They will improve your major risk responsibilities. Like the CEO may not be the risk owner, but this is the person who will make the final decision. Like previously, we have discussed different stages to implement in order to fight against any risk. So you have a plan. So the last approval will be from the founder of the company. So this person will approve that whether you are going to execute that plan or not. Now we have also other peoples like the employees and the team. Means you are the security officer, but we have other employees and team who will help you to identify that risk, who can tasked with the implementing risk control measures. They will report the potential issues. Like if there's a IT member, it will might alert the security officer, means the risk owner, whether there are new vulnerabilities that are detected in the network. This person will take the responsibility to oversee that responses. Then we have auditors and compliance officers. Now, what is the role of these peoples here? Now, they will check out the internal policies that whether the security officer is following that or not. If they are breaching that, they will alert them that by doing this action, you are going to breach our this policy. Like we have an internal auditor who will check whether the risk owner has documented that risk or responded according to the risk or not. So these are different peoples who are involved. Now, contrast to the role of the risk owner, we have also other people like the accountability. Means what are the possibilities or what are the duties of a risk owner can be. Means the first one is he should be accountable for that specific risk. Means it must ensure that it is effectively managed, whereas the other stakeholders will provide the support, assistance, then the decision-making authority. Now the responsibility of the risk is gone towards the security officer. 80% authority to execute a plan is towards will CEO will have, and according to that, the decision-making authority will be given to the risk owner. Then we have the resource control, means the risk owner can control the resources. If the authority is granted by the founder, then this person will control the resources to manage the like the budget, or if it is something personal, like where the stakeholders may need to approve that thing. Then the direct involvement. Now the risk owner is directly involved in day-to-day risk management activities, while the other stakeholders may engage periodically or provide the input into that issues. Now, for example, consider a software company that is developing a new application. Now, the project manager could be your risk owner here, because the project manager or the product manager is the person who is managing the overall project. So, this person will be responsible for that. So they are responsibilities, risks like feature delays, responsible for identifying any risk like whether there are some problem with coordinating with the team member. So this can be the possible risk. Then the quality assurance team will be the play the supportive role here. Means it will they will identify any potential issue during testing, but they will just identify because they are the playing the supportive role here. They will identify and involve the project manager, and that person will decide how to address that risk. Now we have the senior management, similarly like we have also the compliance officer, so they are also playing the supportive role during this. Now, for effective risk management, you need to collaborate with the risk owner and the other stakeholders. Now, not a single person can manage that risk if it is at a larger scale. So you need the involvement or you need the collaboration of the other. Means you are not uh, have that kind of authority to implement some resources. So they need to be collaborate with others. Like they have to do the regular communication with the stakeholders to gather the feedback. They have to coordinate the efforts. Like for the risk manager, they want to talk daily about them. For their IT team, they have to talk. Like the auditors means who are monitoring these people, they have to monitor that. So, like for example, in a bank, we have a security officer who is the risk owner, may work with the IT department and the compliances officer to manage their cybersecurity risk effectively. Uh, the this person will ensure that the plans, both the technical capabilities and regulatory standards, are meeting against the risk. So the next thing that we are going to discuss is the security of information. So till now, if you have any question, let me know. So security information means now here this stage will focus on ensuring that the organization data, whether it is network, something else, are protected from unauthorized access. Means there is no disclosure, there is no disruption or modification. Now for that purpose, the first thing that they will implement is the encryption. We have discussed multiple times about encryption. So if you know that, then let me know. Is making data secure and unreadable, how encryption
Wait,
is implemented.
oh, you want to know how encryption is implemented?
Yes, we have
Yeah,
discussed
okay.
this thing.
Is because through the
Okay,
cryptographic what do you say? Yeah, cryptography do that
no.
because security end-to-end encryption
Yes, yes,
or
yes.
yes, it's
Encryption
like
is,
it just it changes.
yes.
I don't know how implementation. No, I think so I'm confused on how it changes the information to implementation. Oh no, I don't know then.
Okay, let me explain this term. So in encryption, what we do, there are multiple algorithms that are used for converting the data into another form. Like if we talk about ciphertext. Now we have a text like your name, let's suppose. We want to encrypt that. We have to change that. So I will change the order of the alphabets. The first letter will becomes in the last. So we will shuffle that letters. And how we are going to shuffle that? We will send that letter. Now we are changing the order of the letter. Means alphabetically, if we arrange that, we have almost 28 letters. So each letter we assign a number. Like for A, we will assign 1. For B, we will assign 2. So when we change that order, how we are changing, we will send the shuffled text along with a key. Means how we are changing the order. Means, for example, if the first alphabet is A, you place it that alphabet at the last. So this is how you will create a key that this is the exact order. This is how I have shuffled that, and you send that data packet. On the other hand, the data will be decrypted on the basis of that key. So this is how encryption is done. So this is the first security measure that is done to save your data from unauthorized access. Then the second one is the access control. Means we have also discussed multiple times what is access controls. Means according to the user role, you will provide them access. Means if we talk about the educational institute, the access control for the students is limited. Means if you visit different your IT labs in your institute, you are not allowed to access certain folders or certain pages. Your access, you are not granted that. Or whenever you log into your LMS in the online on the online portal, only the limited access is granted to you. For the teachers, they have other access control level. For the administrator, there are other levels. So the second security measure that can be done is the access controls. The third one is the policies and training. Means you have to educate your employees about the security best practice. Means you will educate them about the different security threats, what are the phishing attacks, how you can avoid such kind of links. So this is how you will educate and train your employees. Then the detection of intrusion and attacks. Now we have discussed intrusion means any malicious activity that can disclose your privacy or data is the intrusion. And the first step towards the vulnerability assessment is to identify such kind of things. For identifying such kind of attacks, you can use multiple tools, and we have tools like solar wind, multiple tools we have discussed. So you can use the tools to identify that risk. You can use the threat hunting tools to identify that. So we have types of intrusions. We have network-based intrusion, we have host-based intrusion. Means here the network-based intrusion can be they will be a port that can be scanned. There can be DOS attacks. So we have also discussed the DOS and DDoS attack. So then we have host-based means they will target the main system. Means the host who is connecting the other client computers. So they are going to target that by using any unauthorized software installation. So through network, they can do the DOS attacks, and through host-based system, they try to install some unauthorized software. Like a IDS may trigger an alert when it identifies a pattern matching known as malware. If there is a signature, something, if someone is trying to breach the company's network. So IDS is a tool that can do that. So can you tell me the difference between anyone between the DOS and DDoS? In the second lecture, we discussed this. So the difference between the DOS and DDoS is that DOS attack at same time multiple computers will target that. Means different client request will be there, login request will be there at the same time. Whereas in DDoS, multiple computers will try to target the that targeted PC. There will be multiple attackers that will target the system. Whereas in DOS attack, there will be only multiple requests that are going to log in at the same time. So this is the basic difference between that. So after that, we have what responses that you can give to that intrusion and attacks. Like you can take actions to reduce the effect of intrusion, like uh, you should ensure that there is limited damage. You prevent the data. You can take actions against that, like containment. You can isolate the affected system to prevent the spread of that attack. Means you will disconnect all the other systems from that. Then predictions means you will remove all of the cause of incident, like that was due to the malware, so you will delete that malware. That was due to vulnerability, you will patch that vulnerability. Communication, you will inform your relevant stakeholders like your IT teams, your management, or if there is any, if it is needed, you will contact with the legal or the public relation teams, like when the ransomware attack. So we also discuss ransomware, that is a type of security threat. What the ransomware will do, it will lock your system and prevent you to log in until you pay a specific amount to them. So if such kind of ransomware is detected, the IT team will immediately isolate that affected server. Means it will deploy the backup prevent, it will ensure that the data is not lost. They will notify the employees about the potential of that phishing vector. So this is how they will to read that, then rebuilding and recovering. So if such kind of thing happen in this phase, you will restore and validate your system. It means you isolate that system. Now you back up the data, so you ensure that the data is not lost. So here you will rebuild the new system. If there is any incident that happened, you will reinstall the operating system and the applications that compromises the machine, that they are affected from malware. So you will uninstall that application, reinstall them. You will recover your data from a secure or uncompromised backup. You will conduct a series of steps to confirm that your that there is no malware left in that. You will review that, or if still any change is required, you will implement that change. Like after a data breach, an organization might rebuild that affected server. They will restore all clean data from the backups. They will implement these stricter firewall rules to prevent your similar incident so that they can't be happen in future. Now, if we discuss the incident management life cycle with example, we have discussed multiple steps. We have discussed threat identification, security of information, how detection of intrusion and attacks, how to respond to intrusions, how to rebuild a system. Now, for example, an online retail notice a sharp increase in login attempts. So if there is a sharp increase in login attempts, then it might be a DOS attack. So it enforces the strict access controls to protect this sensitive information. So they are going to detect the intrusions and attack. Now they sense something is wrong. Means there are multiple increase or there's a sharp increase in login attempts. So what the first step they will do, they will try to protect their sensitive information. Like they will correlate with the events, detect there are some login attempts. So they will trigger an alert. So how they are going to respond to that attack? They will inform the IT team. The IT team will investigate. They will identify if there is any compromised account. They will enforce that password reset. They will block that suspicious IP address. So till doing that, they will uh, isolate their server, and after that they will then rebuild their system. By after the team have patched their system vulnerabilities, they will educate the user about their password security, how to review the incident. So then after doing all of that, they will review that incident just to ensure that in future such kind of thing will never happen. Now we will discuss the evidence control and prevention. Means why evidence collection and prevention are important. So these are very important components in the incident, how you're going to respond and investigate. So you have to ensure that you have all the digital evidence, you have handled that properly. So in future, if you want to take an action against the attackers, so that evidence will provide you help to take action against that. Like the first one is the legal and regulatory compliances. Means here you have to, as I mentioned, ensure that you have collected evidence that are applicable to the laws and regulations. That includes the data privacy or chain of the custody rules. So if such kind of uh, rules are break, then you can collect the evidence against them. So you can take the action against that person. Like you can understand the specific legal requirements for handling the evidence. We have discussed the General Data Protection Regulation law uh, in the Europe, or HIPAA in the US. So these are the different laws you can study. Then you document that align with the regular expectations or not. Means you have to ensure that you have collected the evidence according to these laws or not. Then the chain of custody. It means that the documentation and the process that shows that collection is transferred. There is some sort of storage, or you will do the analysis of evidence here. Like here, you can maintain an unbroken chain of custody, means you have to ensure that the evidence is trustworthy and have not been tampered with or altered. Means in chain of custody, you have to show a collection of your evidence that means how one evidence is related to the other, and you have to ensure that that evidence are original. These are not changed. So what is the best practice here? You can record every person who are going to handle that evidence here. Like, and after recording that evidence, you can transfer that time. Then use tamper, means the proof evidence back or secure storage location to maintain the originality of that data. You can include the detailed logs when you are going to access that evidence, when and why. So in this way, you can prove that your evidence are original. Like for example, in the case of involving a data theft, you can log the document. What is the timeline that the server was accessed, or what were the details that were involved. Now these things will help you to justify in court that these evidence are valid. So there is no such kind of problem there. Now, forensic sound collection technique. So this is another method that can be used to collect the evidence. So that will show that the evidence are not altered or damaged. Now you will ensure that the evidence remain intact. Now the best practice is you write the blocker, means when you create the disk image, you can prevent data from being modified. You can create a bit by bit image of the effective storage device, means you will capture all the data, including the deleted files or the unallocated space. You can collect the volatile data, means the RAM content, before shutting down the system. So we know that the volatile memory is temporary. So whenever the system is shut down, the data is lost. So before shutting down the system, you have to ensure that this data will be lost once a device when the device is power off. So you will collect that volatile data first. Then, like for example, an organization who is going to investigate the malware infection, first thing that they should do, they should capture a memory dump from the effective server. Means how when all the things that happen during that attack, they must capture them so that they can analyze the effective active process uh, and the network connections in future. So data integrity verification means whether the data is original or not. So this should be verified so that whenever you present your evidence, no one is going to question you that you are presenting the wrong data or the right data. The best practice is to use the cryptographic hash function. So hashing is a type of data structure that maintains a hash table for storing that data. So for verifying your data, you can use that cryptographic hash function to collect your data.